Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where the orchard of wisdom shows are at your fingertips. It ignites your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your body with illumination from people who have made the journey before you. They're here now to help you on your journey, on your path of self-discovery. We are funded by you, the audience, and the people we interview. If you wish to support us, please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com and press on our Fund Action button. Anything is appreciated. We'd like you to sit back and enjoy the shows. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Quantum Spirituality right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful guest from Parksville, Vancouver Island, British Columbia, just around the corner from me a little bit, is Permelia Parham. We're going to be talking about vibrational healing and so much more today. Her why is to create and support a proactive wellness society. And I like the word proactive because a lot of people talk about wellness societies and they don't realize it actually is integrative and proactive. You actually have to do something about it. So it's to create that wellness society. She says we all have been been a reactive illness society for too long. She's in the process of designing an international wellness corporation called the Healing Institute, Inc., which includes holistic practitioners and information on holistic wellness practices. She has studied and taught energy and emotional healing for over 20 years. She's a certified body code and emotional code practitioner. And for 4 years, Permelia has offered emotional healing sessions to release unprocessed negative emotions from the subconscious. She also has a great success working with adults, children, animals by releasing those unprocessed negative emotions for better health. Through her company, Vibrational Healing, she also provides individual consultations by teaching strategies on how to realign limiting beliefs, heal past lifetime energy, balance our chakras, which in turn expands our self-awareness and empowers her clients to make positive and more successful changes in life. We all need those redirections. We all need those changes. And, it doesn't matter who we are, where we are, how successful we are. We all carry around some past baggage that gets in the way of us moving forward. And it's a weighed down energy, isn't it? And it can cause dis-ease in the body, but it certainly can weigh us down and stop us from moving forward productively, which is the wellness isn't just to do with the body. Mind, heart, body, spirit, and soul. And we really need to look at the whole, don't we, in order to heal. Welcome to the show, love.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. And what you said, looking at the whole body, looking at our mind, our soul, our spirituality, our physical attributes, mental attributes, it's so important that we are healthy in all ways. Yes.
Everything is frequency, everything is vibration, everything is energy. Absolutely, everything has an energy signature. And if our energies are off kilter, so is everything within us and around us.
And that's what I'm passionate about, educating people that we are energy and that we are a vibration. A lot of people believe that we're just this physical body.
No,
it's so not true.
Definitely
and when
not.
I was learning how to balance my chakras, when I was studying under my teacher that I studied under for 8 years, we did the chakras in a vibration, like around a bubble around us, not just aligned within our bodies, but all around us as our aura. And it just makes so much more sense.
I did a show on chakra eating, and that if you're craving certain color foods, it's that kind of chakra that needs more nurturing. And we get signs all the time, don't we? That something is off kilter, because we always want to be in flow and in rhythm, because that's what energy is. It's not just a linear static thing or boxed and contained. It's constantly in flow. And if we're not in flow, we're off kilter. But we're always getting the signs, but we don't know how to read those signs.
Well, and we have to be tuned into our bodies and tuned into who we are. And most people don't take the time to do that, but it's so important. And I do actually believe over the last couple of years we've been in this pandemic that people have done a paradigm shift. They
Yes.
have now decided, whether they're conscious about it or not, that they are going to be more responsible for their health. They're going to be physical distancing. They're going to wear masks when they go out. They're not going to go to the emergency room if they have a sniffle.
Right.
Nobody wants to go near hospitals these days.
No,
So we
no.
are looking at ourselves as how we can be resilient, and that's what the Healing Institute is going to be there for, to provide education and practitioners for people who want to know more about holistic health, how to prevent ourselves from getting ill, and that's the proactive part of the wellness that I am passionate about.
I'm a firm believer that there is not one size that fits all. In our self-discovery, it is our instrument. We learn how to play it, and then we look for an orchestra to join, right?
Yes.
So you're creating that orchestra right now, where all of the practitioners, each one of them have their own beautiful instrument, their own gift that they've discovered and nurtured and allowed to be. And then when they come to that orchestra, it's each individual instrument is imperative through that orchestra, but also in harmony with each other, because then it creates a beautiful synergy and vibration that really becomes illuminating for others.
Yes, absolutely. And we want to create a community for practitioners. Most of us as practitioners, we work alone. We, of course, haven't been able to even have workshops or meet in groups for the last 2 years. And so I'm creating this community for practitioners so that they have the support that they need with each other, and also the fact that the clients that will be coming to them are also part of that community.
What you're doing is something I wanted to do 30 years ago. Is create that kind of arena where people can come in, and it's almost like, okay, I've taken you to this stage, you now need so-and-so to address this. And it's like, we're not meant to know it all. We can do so much, but then there's always going to be something else that comes up that somebody else has the expertise in. And when you know each other and you're supporting each other, then you can treat the whole of the person, because there's a whole arena there doing it with you.
Exactly. And that's what our concept is looking at each individual client, but as a whole client. So, for example, a client might come to the website and decide they want to do body code work, which is what I do. But I'm not going to just hang on to that client and not look at what other modalities they may have. So as practitioners, we will be, having team meetings and giving the solution back to the client, some suggestions of other kinds of modalities or different types of modalities or combination of modalities that they could use to be well and stay well. And that's our goal always, is to look at the heart. We're going to have heart-centered practitioners who are looking at the whole person, the whole client, not just one little aspect of the client. Yes.
Western medicine is wonderful. It does some incredible things, but it's not inclined to look at the whole of a person. And it doesn't also always connect with the emotional disease that causes the physical disease. And it certainly doesn't address the spiritual need. And, I think a lot of people over this last couple of years, we've all kind of feeling a little battle weary one way or the other. Either we've known someone or we've gone through it or this or that. We've now got a depression pandemic because of it. And there's an economical pandemic going on. And there's still a lot of recovery to be had. But this is the year of the tiger, which is a progressive year. And it is a year about putting ourselves into gear. So my word for this year is ignition, putting ourselves in gear. And it is time to take that action. So if we have been feeling sluggish or disconnected or just feeling like, I just don't know, maybe it's just the pandemic, but I'm just not engaged in life, this is the time to kind of step up and reach out to someone and actually say, I don't know what's wrong, but I just know something is.
And that's great, because in order for us to find the answers, we do need to be introspective.
Yes.
And when we've been busy, not taking time for ourselves, as we've been forced to do over the last 2 years, I do truly believe people have become more introspective. They're looking at, okay, well, emotionally I'm not feeling well, physically I'm not feeling 100%. What is it that's going on, and what is out there? And that's what I'm creating with the Healing Institute. Is we'll have practitioners and we'll have education. Right. And I am passionate about educating people around what is available for them to be well and stay well.
Tell us what the coding is that you do. What does that mean?
The body code. Mm-hmm. So the body code, the emotion code and the body code was created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He was a chiropractor for a number of years, very spiritual man, very connected to source energy. And he would adjust his patients and they'd go away and they kept coming back. Mm-hmm. So he's like, there's something more going on here. Mm-hmm. It's got to be emotional as well as physical. So he did a lot of meditating and praying around it. He came up with a protocol that he's trained practitioners like myself all over the world that we use in order to determine what is really going on with the client. Mm-hmm. So he discovered that he's created that there's a list of 60, what he calls trapped emotions. Mm-hmm. So I call them unprocessed negative emotions. So these are emotions that could have happened because of an event or an illness or an accident. There's also emotions, these trapped emotions you could inherit. Yes. So you could inherit them. There's another trapped emotion called prenatal, which means something was going on with your mother when she was pregnant with you and you got the emotion. You got the trapped emotion. You can absorb trapped emotions. There's a heart wall, which means those trapped emotions that get stuck in this wall around the heart, that the subconscious actually puts up that wall in order to keep you safe. But if you get these emotions trapped in that heart wall, then you could have all sorts of issues with relationships, all different types of relationships, and success in life. So we want to be able to look at what these emotions are, and we want to be able to release them. So Dr. Bradley Nelson is brilliant, I just have to say. And so the protocol that he created, the reason that I believe it works so well, because in all of the 20 years that I've been studying emotional and energy healing, the three parts of the process that we take clients through is all connected to source energy.
Right. Good.
So all connected to universal energy, God, whatever you believe in. And
so
God, that's
universe,
why
spirit.
Yeah, that's why it works. Right. So of course our subconscious, my clients give me permission to connect with their subconscious. Mm-hmm. So their subconscious is true to who they are, got all our memories, all of our emotions. To find the trapped emotion, I muscle test. This is my fingers that I use. And again, that's applied kinesiology and muscle testing. It's connected to universal energy. Our muscles, again, don't lie to who we are. No. They're congruent. And then the piece that helps release the trapped emotion is I have a magnet that I run because I'm the client's proxy. They've given me permission to do that. So I just run this magnet. It's a little bracelet magnet. I just run it over my governing meridian. Well, what that does is it connects that magnet to the electromagnetic field, which is our aura, which is also connected to universal energy. And it's stronger than the trapped emotion. So that's what releases the trapped emotion. So it's just an amazing protocol. I love it. I've been certified as an emotion code practitioner, which is the first level, for over 4 years, and then body code over 2 years. And it works on everything. It works on physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all pieces of all the pieces that make up who we are.
So people don't have to go into reliving it, because so many people have memory, that they don't remember. It's stored in their tissues. And they don't even know that it's there, until it's released.
Yes. And that, I'll never say anything bad about talk therapy because I've had it myself and it's worked. But at some point in time, you have to stop talking about it. Because as you say, you're just reliving it. Yeah. So one of the questions we often ask when we're in our session is, when did this emotion show up? So it could have been something that was, like I say, prenatal, that emotion showed up. It could be something that happened in a very early childhood that you don't have a memory about, but that's okay. You don't need to remember what it is. We can just release it and get rid of it.
And what a load off you. It is, the body feels lighter. I've gone through some various releasing, and I know there's always more. There's always more. I've gone through past life releasing, and this life releasing to a point, but the thing is, we don't know what we don't remember. And our body remembers it, our psyche remembers it, our spirit remembers it, but we don't always remember because maybe we're suppressed, or maybe we're too young, or maybe we just didn't realize that that was causing so much emotional stress in us, and we thought it was something else, right?
Well,
Or
and
we
our
label it something else.
exactly, and our cognitive brain can only hold so much.
Right.
So it's the rest of us that,
Mm,
you know, I believe our heart has a brain. There's been lots of work done at the Heart Math Institute in California talking about the heart,
I
who
agree.
has the brain, who then tells the cognizant brain
Yes.
what's going on, not the other way around.
Right.
And so we have to find out what is happening in the body. And you know, you used the word dis-ease earlier, which is so true. Disease is dis-ease.
Yes,
It's when
it
there's
is.
dis-ease in our bodies. So
Yeah.
when we're having those emotions, and Dr. Bradley Nelson, I was wondering, okay, I thought I brought the chart. Dr. Bradley Nelson put together that 60 trapped emotions in a chart. And some of those rows, he actually connected an organ with those.
Mm-hmm.
And so that
Mm-hmm.
what that means is that organ or that gland could be compromised, could be imbalanced, could be misaligned if those trapped emotions were not released. And just to give you an idea, so some of my clients say when we finish the session that they feel lighter.
Yes.
Or they feel warm, or they just have this complete sort of peacefulness that comes. Often they feel tired.
Yes.
Because we could release up to, you know, anywhere from 10 to 20 trapped emotions in one session, which is about half an hour to 45 minutes. So that's a lot of balls of negative energy.
Yes.
And so they can feel tired. I say, you know, do what your body says, go for a nap, drink lots of water, process it, make sure that those trapped emotions are completely released and absolutely released. Yes.
And it's kind of the body realigning itself, isn't it? So,
it does.
you know, so you need to kind of just rest and let it do its thing. Going back to the heart information, I'm a knowingness coach by God's design, and for me it's always been the knowledge has come through me, and I, as a child, or sometimes even now, I don't know what I'm saying or why I'm saying it, but it's meant to be. But I do believe that the spirit or the soul or the universe cannot talk to a closed heart, and that we have to be willing to open up our hearts, because the heart intelligence knows how to drive the spirit's action and knows what we need from our brain, our mind, when we need it. Right. So we have all this data up here, which is absolutely amazing. But if we get stuck in the data, we're what-ifing all the time, or the butting all the time.
Yeah.
But if we actually allow our soul, beautiful intuition, to come and ignite that heart intelligence, the spirit into the action, the mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it.
Absolutely. And actually, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about heart coherence. And when you're trying to communicate from your heart brain to your cognitive brain, all you need to do is just hold your hand over your heart, and just close your eyes, do some deep breathing, even if you can't, you know, get into a complete meditative state. But to actually just that action just by itself,
yes,
your heart brain is telling your cognitive brain that everything's okay.
It's and you can open up. Yes,
you can open up.
Yes. You know, sometimes we kind of have to give the brain permission to ignite everything else, because the brain gets in the way. It's on the defense all the time. You know, it's always, you know, going, what is the defense? Is this bad? And so we just have to say to the brain, go with it. Go with it, you know, and then you see, so open up that heart, that spirit comes, that soul comes through, ignites that spirit, and the brain can go, oh, okay, good. This is what you need to know. But if we are stuck just in the chin up, just in the intellect, we don't know what to do with that information, because we're driven really by the divine soul and our hearts to know what to do with that information. So I think a lot of people have body issues or emotional issues because of the detachment from literally the head to the rest of the body and spirit.
And we're not taught that.
No, we're not.
You
No,
know,
we're not.
we're taught that this is the smart thing that's
This
going
is
on
the
up
only
here.
thing that's important.
It's the
Yeah.
only thing that's
Mhm.
important. And we're not taught to tap into the rest of our bodies or listen to our bodies.
Yes.
When your body is telling you something, you know, whether it's an ache or a pain or just a rumbling going on, your body's talking to you. Your body is telling you. We need to, and that's where we need to slow down, calm down, and just be still and just listen to what our bodies are telling us, because they're smart. Our bodies are very, very smart.
It has its own intellect. You know, if you look at, you know, times of the past, everybody lived on their intuitiveness and their connection to the earth. You know, of being able to read the weather, being able to read the signs, listening to the animals, you know, listening to nature, and they would be in tuned, and then they would act accordingly. And then, you know, education came along, which is wonderful. You know, nothing against education and gaining knowledge, but not for knowledge's sake. And I feel a great deal of many people today are highly successful in the brain activity, you know, in the work that they do, but they're incredibly stressful and they don't really enjoy what they do because of that disconnect.
And we're not also taught that we all have intuition, which we do.
Right.
We're all intuitive. We're all intuitive beings. And we have to tap into that intuition. You know, whatever ways you do it, whether it's out in nature. I love walking by the water.
Yes, water is a wonderful conduit. Yeah.
Beautiful beach here in Parksville. So just going for a walk along the beach, tapping into nature, just sitting and being, closing your eyes, just, you know, even as I said, it's, you know, people think meditating, oh my gosh, how can I do that? But even just calming yourself, just taking a few minutes every day, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, or at night before you're going to sleep, but just take a few minutes just to tap into your body and ask your body, okay, I'm here, I'm listening. What do you want to tell me?
What do you need? And like so many people push themselves. You know, I have fibro, so it's my partner. You know, we've learned to live with each other. And there are times that the fibro comes up and says, hey, tap on the shoulder. You've been overdoing it. You need to rest. It's time to switch off. And I have, you know, if I want to be able to continue on, I need to go and take that rest. I need to go and switch off and pay attention to my body. Whether you have fibro or anything else, your body is always telling you. But we've been taught, no, push through it. You've got to push through it. You're in charge. Tell it who's boss. Are you kidding me?
That's when dis-ease shows up.
Exactly. There is a reason why the body gets tired or wants to just switch off or wants to shut down. It needs to recharge. It needs to recalibrate. And you maybe need more nutrition or more love from you or more care from you. And
or a nap.
Or a nap, a simple nap. Yeah. We don't listen to our body enough at all. We don't listen to our spirit enough. And if we actually kind of invited everything to the party and listened to everybody, we would actually be more cohesive on our way of living.
And, you know, I truly believe that in this last couple of years, people have slowed down.
Yeah.
They have had to. They've been forced to. And that's the reason why, in my estimation, why COVID showed up.
Oh, yes.
We were just too busy, too busy of a world. People needed to slow down, needed to connect with themselves, connect with their families, just not be as busy in their lives and in their heads, and really slow down. So I truly believe that's why COVID showed up. There was a reason.
We were in a very negative vibration that was going nowhere good. And by kind of pulling that plug and saying to everybody, be still, go in. This is your gift from the universe. This is not to take away from anyone who did love their lives or their livelihoods or suffering. That is just part of everybody's own blueprint and contract. But it was that time, that beautiful gift of, is this life that I'm living really working for me? Do I want to go back to that life? Do I really want to be that person? because I was so wrapped up in being that person, so busy being that person, I never took a breath. I never really
And
looked
was
at
I
what I
really
want.
happy?
Yes.
Was I
Genuinely,
really
answer
happy doing all
is
those things?
no. Yeah.
No,
And so it is a
exactly.
beautiful gift from the universe. They gave me a saying 4.5 years ago: the universe is going to shake us up, to wake us up, for us to step up, change it up, and grow up. And the grow up double entendre: grow up as human beings, please, folks. It's not all about you. And grow up vibrationally, because this is what we need to do to bring the balance back for the earth and for all of us. So if we can balance ourselves, we can bring that balance to Mama Earth, who at the present moment is not very happy
Absolutely.
with us.
And my teacher always said that as we each individually raise
Yes.
our vibration,
Yes.
we're raising the vibration of the world. And, you
Absolutely.
know, the world's vibration can definitely
But that's,
stand to be raised. That's
I
for
think that's
sure.
the reason for the pandemic. It is like, no, you can't carry on the way you are. It is time to evolve. We're very slow to learn as human beings. We get
We're a little bit, yes, we
Yeah,
are.
we get so caught up in our own personal drama. And if we can release that drama, if we can release anything that's holding us back and really tap into where the energy can take us, all the beautiful possibilities, all that you are meant to be here for, all the wonderful service that you can be to others, that elevation of that energy is just a beautiful harmonizing symphony that really resonates and becomes that invitation for other people to leave behind what is not serving them. And it's definitely happening. But of course,
I
you don't see
agree.
it on mainstream media. We have to do it through shows like this. But it also requires people to step up and go, okay, I may not understand what you're talking about, but I'm willing to participate and give it a try to see how it works for me.
And I'm curious. I
I'm
want to be
curious.
curious to see whether or not what the heck she's talking about
Right.
really can work.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Yes,
We
for
don't
sure.
go to a mechanic and say to the mechanic, I want to understand everything you're doing, because most of the time they're talking over our head. Same with our computers and a few other things. But we don't question that. We just trust the mechanic. So why can't we go to someone and say, realign my energy, get rid of my old baggage, and trust that they will in unison with you, because there has to be the free will, there has to be the permission, right? Always.
Yes,
You have to
always.
be willing. It's not like, we'll prove it, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Is that I am willing to surrender myself so that I can release myself. And you may not understand how you do it, right? Or how your other practitioners do it, but the results are the only thing that matters in this case.
And as long as you're
Yes.
open to receiving. I talk about our little finite brain.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started thinking about having a healing institute, which was before COVID hit, I was thinking of having a building here
Yes.
in Parksville,
Yes.
little bricks and mortar.
Yes.
Well, after being on numerous platforms of networking all over the world, now my Healing Institute is going to be virtual and it's going to be global. So we'll be having practitioners in, I've chosen 8 countries to start with, and we'll have a minimum of 200 practitioners and a minimum of 2,000 clients, and we'll be in a minimum of 8 countries by 2024. Right. So I've interviewed probably 65 practitioners now from all over the world, doing all different kinds of modalities. And they all love the idea of this virtual global healing institute, because we've been on Zoom for 2 years. So it's okay. We're working quite well on
the
Zoom.
energy doesn't have to be a person in front of you. When you get that energy signature of someone, energy is everywhere. All you're doing is tapping into that frequency, right? Exactly. And there you go. So this, don't you need to actually have me there? No. Right?
No, working just fine. The sections that I do, I have clients, we just do it over the phone sometimes because that's all they want to do. Mm-hmm. And then most of my sessions I do over Zoom. There's a few clients that are local, and so they might want to come to my office. But other than that, the majority of the work that I do is over Zoom. But you're right, because the energy is everywhere and it's there. And so the whole the whole concept of the fact that we can now reach out globally to anyone and everyone throughout the world is pretty magnificent. I think I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. We're going in a slightly different direction too here at Self-Discovery Media, because I have a self-discovery community where, we're going to be doing workshops with our practitioner and our hosts. And, the people that we've interviewed that are doing this wonderful work, but I wanted to give them a platform where, other people, where they can come and people can find them differently to the shows, because there's close to 3,000 shows. So you can find the practitioners and the mentors differently. And our next stage now is the workshops that they will do collaboratively together. And, it just gives people that platform, and people want to go somewhere where they can find their answer without having to go through a dozen sites. So by you putting everybody under this one umbrella of so many different modalities, is that whatever they need, they're going to be able to find it, right?
Yes. Yeah. And qualified practitioners, qualified education components of what the practitioners' modalities are. So, people can find that information on Google, but you never really know what, and there's just so much there. It's
oversaturation. You just don't know where the authenticity is of it, right?
Overwhelming.
Yes.
So on our website, you will have definitely practitioners that will be uploading their YouTube videos, their blog posts, any information that they have about their modality. I'm going to be interviewing each one of the practitioners, so there'll be a video from the practitioner about what they do and their modality and how it works. So people can just hop on that all the education part of the Healing Institute will be complimentary, it'll be free. And then of course, anyone who signs up for a practitioner, there will be a price to pay for having a session with that practitioner.
Obviously, yes. Yeah. By the way, let's just address anything spiritual does not mean you do it for free. Right?
Exactly.
It is a service that we're offering, and yes, there is a cost to doing that service, and also we have the right to earn a living. So this whole thing about no, it's wooey stuff, so you should do it for free. No, get that out of your head right now. So what if somebody doesn't know what they need? Is there going to be a central hub that they can come to and say, I don't know which practitioner I need?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you for that. So there's an intake form for clients on the website. We're also designing some other ways, of course, to get clients to the website or into knowing more about what the Healing Institute is about. And so they'll be able to self-identify. I've taken all of the modalities, put them into 5 different categories. So they could look at emotional healing or energy healing or therapies, coaching, and then they can click on that. It'll be a drop down, and then there's all of the different modalities, let's say, in that category. When they click on that, it will go to a practitioner or a group of practitioners or a number of practitioners if there's more than one, and then they can read their bio and decide what they want. There also will be an opportunity for them to say, I don't know what I want.
Right, exactly.
So
most people don't know, right? They just don't know.
So what we will do as practitioners is we will take that, we'll have our team meetings around, okay, how can we help this client? Obviously, they're going to identify something that they're not feeling healthy about, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. So they'll give us a clue. And then we will put together some ideas as to a health plan for them, and then go back to them with the health plan and have a discussion. Obviously,
right.
If that's not what they want or not what they're thinking, then there'll probably be some tweaking that needs to be done. But with the number of practitioners that we have, obviously so far I've interviewed 65, so all 65, we're not going to have a team meeting, but right. the one specifically that we think will be be able to help the client.
Well, if people are kind of filling out kind of a questionnaire of what they feel is wrong, or where the area is, then you can whittle it down to which practitioners they need at this stage.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
again, it's a plan.
Yes.
So if that doesn't work, for them, or if they don't like our suggestions, you know, we can do some more. At that point, then we'd be able to get more information from them, and maybe there's a multiple things that is going on for them.
Generally, I mean, you know, I think kind of one of the big things, quite honestly, is going through, you know, the past emotional, you know, healing. I mean, it's like, you know, putting good fuel in a contaminated tank. You know, it's just, so, you know, going through you with the coding of, let's just take away everything that's not serving you. Now kind of you're this beautiful blank canvas. If there's something that's still hurting or something that's still wrong, we can really pinpoint and direct that, because you're not carrying all the other baggage that is confusing the real problem.
Exactly. Perfect. Yes. Said very well.
To think that, oh, I just suffered from depression. Well, there's a reason for your depression. You know, yeah, you might be depressed, you don't have a job, but this, that, but it always stems from a core of something. And very often we don't know that those emotions are past emotions, past life, past ancestral, you know, as you said, from the womb, or something happened in childhood. And we get stuck in just the emotion, half the time not knowing where the hell it's coming from. And so, you know, the first step is to get rid of that emotion. And then where you end up with kind of you're almost a blank vessel. And it's like, I've got to get to know me all over again without all this weight, so to speak. And so that anything that is in the way at that time, and even like, okay, I've deleted half of my programming, but I need to insert new programming now that is going to be more fruitful and beneficial in my wellness moving forward.
And I found certainly with clients, when we identify that, for example, depression is one of the emotions, has been inherited.
Yes.
Could have been inherited from grandfathers that went to the war, could have been inherited from grandmothers that 2 and 3 generations. So it helps people understand why they're feeling that way. As well as, okay, well, let's get rid of that. Now we can release that and then move forward.
I think if we're open.
Yes, definitely.
You know, if you're open to the fact that you are carrying around everything that's happened in this lifetime, everything that's happened in your parents' lifetime and grandparents' lifetime, everything that's happened in past lifetimes, you're carrying all that memory around with us. Now, in each lifetime that we regenerate and come back here, we're hoping to bring forth the wonderful wisdom that we learned from before. But very often people pass over in their lifetime still with baggage. So that means you're also passing the baggage on to that wonderful soul that's going to be reborn. So we kind of owe it to kind of clean things up, so that it's only the wisdom that gets passed on. But that also can be vibrationally in this life, is when you are of a different vibration of wellness and wholeness and vibrancy, everybody in your sphere, everybody's going to benefit from that energy. You are serving everyone with that energy. You are igniting their own energies. Inspiration begets invitation. You're just setting that, inviting them to step up to that higher frequency, because they're so inspired by your energy. So we not only owe it to ourselves, but we owe it to our loved ones and our own community. Consequently, with that beautiful vibration constantly rippling out, we owe it to humanity and all life on this beautiful planet, the universe and Earth.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. A byproduct, if you want to call it that, of when you release the trapped emotions that have been inherited. So let's say you inherited some trapped emotions from 2 generations ago, which would be your great-grandmother, but your great-grandmother no longer is alive. So when that soul decides to incarnate again, they won't have, say, that.
Exactly. You've cleaned house.
that emotion of, say, depression,
right?
Which I find just absolutely fascinating. That's where, and it's been noticed, and in Dr. Bradley Nelson's latest book, he has many practitioner information and case studies in his book, in that book. And there's some great, what he explains how other people, say in a workshop, of course he can't have workshops right now, but he used to have them, and conferences, that actually could see the souls leaving and not coming back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because,
So,
you know,
fascinating work.
the one thing that we feel a great deal as human beings, and we don't always understand where it comes from, is the feeling of being trapped. And, you know, we're living here in North America in a free world. You know, we have free will to a certain point. We can make our own choices. We're not in an arena where that suppression is there. And so we go, but where's this trapped feeling coming from? And, you know, why do I constantly feel like that? Why do I feel every time I want to make a move forward, there's something pulling me back? Mm-hmm. Right. And it's, you can look back on your own life and you go, well, did it happen then? Or did it happen then? And sometimes we just don't know when it happened or who it happened to. It's just that trace element of that memory, that fear is still inside of you. And we owe it to ourselves, as I said, as well, along with everyone else, to release it. Because it's going to make us so much more productive in our own lives, in our own wellness, in our own contribution, you know, being a purer vibration without carrying all that negativity.
Well, and when we're well,
yes,
physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, then we can be in service.
Yes.
And then we can create the kind of climate world that we want to have. And we can raise the vibration of the world, as we have talked about earlier. That's what's so important, I find. You know, when people have released these emotions, they finally feel like they can now, that they're connected to who they are. There's not an emotion that seems to be running the show. And so I love that whole piece about releasing the trapped emotions or unprocessed negative emotions, because then we can be the people that we can be our best versions of ourselves.
Right. Yeah. I did a numerology show this week too, which was fascinating, folks. Metaphysical numerology, do invite you to listen to it. And he had done my numerology chart, so we kind of used that as a reference. And although I'm an 8, which is meant to attract money, I'm a 9, which means give it away, philanthropy.
Oh, no.
Right? So, shucks. And also, you know, in a past life cleansing, it was getting rid of 50 lifetimes of a vow of poverty. Now, although it was got rid of, and since then I keep macheting it, get rid of it, it also seems very much in my chart that, you know, what comes in goes right back out. But is there a way, is there sometimes some particular energy that really takes more than one effort to get rid of, that it's just so entrenched that it's harder to get rid of?
Well, we talk about layers. So I use analogy of an onion. Right. So I have some packages. One session is great, but we all have these layers. So just because we've released, let's say, 12 trapped emotions in one session, doesn't mean you have more, don't have more.
Right.
And also you may have similar and the same trapped emotions, but it's just at another layer.
Exactly.
So the heart wall, for example, there's the layer called the heart wall, and then there's a hidden heart wall. Well, that hidden heart wall may not show up. As a matter of fact, just to give you an example, I had a client, she signed up for 5 sessions, and I think we were into the 4th session. Betrayal kept coming up over and over again, all these sessions. Finally, in the 4th session, betrayal came up as a heart wall, in the heart wall. So we were like, okay, we've cleared that. We were able to clear that. Can we clear it? Is there a hidden heart wall? I got to know. The 5th session, it came up as a hidden heart wall. So there's those layers that need to be released in order for us to get to what really needs to be healed. And that's something I learned early on when I was studying under the teacher when I was living in Alberta, was that I was doing some work, and one of my things I thought I had worked on was feeling insecure. So what comes up in this work that I'm doing? Insecurity. So I'm like, I've worked on this.
Yes. Yes.
Why is this?
Why are you still here? Yeah, exactly.
So I said to my teacher, okay, I'm really annoyed because I know how much I've worked on this.
Yeah.
And she just very calmly said, Permelia, you're healing it at a deeper level. You're now healing it at the level that you need to be at in order for it to be healed completely.
The systemic part, right? Yeah. And we look at all our cellular structure, and like, trillions of cells are in our body, but if pocket of cells start breaking down, they have an effect on all of the cells. Well, that goes with the memory. You can release all of these particular memories from these particular cells, but as you go deeper and deeper, there's those other pockets and layers of cells that are still holding on to it, and it may take a little investigation in order to get to it, because as I say, I've gone through numerous lifetimes, over 200 lifetime releasing, but I know there's still something else there, and I don't know if it's this lifetime or past lifetime or just residual or something, and there's different layers, and you could be the most confident person in the world doing absolutely what you love, and then something comes up, and it's like, where the hell did you come from? Right? And it's that,
why is that triggering me now?
Exactly. I thought I got rid of you. You're just not welcome, and it just needs to be released because you've gone into a deeper level. And as we go into a deeper level of our own heart consciousness, our own soul consciousness, allowing our own spirit to express itself, we are going to go deeper and deeper into those very cellular levels, aren't we?
Definitely. And we need to.
Yes.
We need to do that.
Yeah. So don't be afraid of what comes up, right? Don't be afraid of it.
Embrace it.
Yes. Don't attach yourself to it. It's something that's leached off you. And it's time to say, I'm evicting you, quintessentially. And that you're not, take all your garbage along with you. So I think it's very much that there is never ever one size fits all. There's never ever just one answer and that's it, the miraculous cure. Even with your own work, you can have a success at this level, and then somebody else has something else come up. Okay, that just means now we've got to go to another level, and be willing to go through whatever levels you need to do in order to truly clear yourself out. But with each clearing, there is that sense of lightening up, that sense of being able to almost take control of your own life. I talk about control. Are we ever in control? Because the universe is. But we can control how we choose to see it, how we choose to interact with it.
And how we react.
How we react to it. So the lighter we become with each of these clearings is the more and more we step into that control of our own choices and not governed by these past things that keep dictating us in a different direction.
What I find very interesting too is that I'll have clients will come to me initially for body code work, and maybe they'll sign up for 3 sessions or 5 sessions. And then I have one particular client we've been working now for over about 1.5 years. So we did a number of sessions, the body code sessions, did a lot of the layering, got rid of a lot of those emotions that were stuck. And then she was feeling pretty good. So she thought, what else do you do?
Yeah.
Well, I have a realigning beliefs. So if there's a belief that is no longer serving you, but it was maybe something you grew up with, we can do a session around that, which is very powerful. It's a very simple process, but very powerful.
Before you go further, I want to hit on that point, because it's a belief you've grown up with that's probably been held on to by these other past memories. And it's going to be easier to get rid of now because you know that belief no longer serves you, but you didn't realize it was a pattern that you were in.
Yes, yes, exactly. And so, and then we'll do past lifetime healing, which is looking at what energy that was brought into this lifetime to learn the lesson that needed to be learned.
Yes.
And sometimes we even will go, this particular client, we've even done the chakra balancing. But that is what I love to do with clients, because then when they're ready, they tell me what more they need to do. And then we'll go back. This particular client, now we're doing body code work again. So I have another client that I've been working with now for 4 years. And at first we did, I think, 2 or 3 session packages, and then 5 session package. Now she signs up for a 5 session package, but we just do it once a month. So it's her maintenance is what she calls it.
Yes. And I think that's a good point. Just because we're cleared. And, we may be cleared of past memories or past pain, etc. But if we don't clear the patterning, we're going to repeat it, right? So now we've got the realignment and the repatterning going on, and we're lined up with our chakras. But life comes along and kind of throws curveballs at you, and you can be thrown out of kilter again. So the maintenance to stay in equilibrium is extremely important, because if we're out of equilibrium, that's when those past patterns want to come back in, right? And you may be out of sorts, so you can't actually fight it off. So this is why we see so many people, they were doing so well, we thought they really got it, and they fell back into an old patterning. And so maintenance is important for us to make sure that we do actually keep stepping into that positive vibration that's serving us, and that we don't fall back or fall out of balance.
Yeah, very important. Love it.
It sounds complicated to certain people, but really all it is just the willingness to open up and let you do the work. Right? For them, it's just receiving, releasing, and then regrouping and redirecting.
Yeah, totally. And just being aware, being curious.
Yes.
Being open. If you are wanting to be in the best health you can possibly be, regardless of what that might mean, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, and you want to be the best person that you can possibly be, then you need to be open and curious to what is out there. And there's so much out there. I'm still learning after all these years.
Yes. Well, that's the point, isn't it? Isn't that the point of our existence here, is to constantly be learning? We're learning to rise up to a higher frequency, a higher dimension, and our idea of each lifetime is to work on a higher dimensional plane to get to the point where we no longer need the body. But we are spiritual beings having a human existence. And it is about
truly believe that, yes.
Right, bridging the gap between the human vessel and psyche and all that we can do, along with the spiritual one, and finding a balance. I'm a Libra, so I'm constantly seesawing and trying to find a balance.
I am as well.
You are? Great. So don't you find all the time? And a lot of time people think the balance must be solid like this. No, it's constantly in with the rhythm in life. What you don't want are the extreme highs and extreme lows. We just want to maintain on a really good wavelength and a good vibe. And I think perhaps as Librans we're sometimes more aware of that, of being out of balance, and we know when we're out of order, so to speak. And people, obviously there are many modern Western things that just don't work because they don't address the core. And I don't care who you are or what you're able to do, we've all got to get to our core and do our core healing. Our core is our compass, our core is our consciousness, our core is where our love and our channeling and everything comes through. And so we need to really clear out whatever is not helping that core be abundant as it is, because it's your generator of everything that you do.
Yeah, we have to do our work.
Yes.
It's not going to happen just by snapping our fingers or waving a magic wand. We have
to downloading an app.
No, it's not going to work. Yeah, we have to get in touch with who we are.
Yes.
Even if you have no clue who you are, but you have to start. That's a good place to start. And do the meditations if you can. Do readings. Read different authors. Just try different modalities of tapping into how you want to be and how you want to be healthy. And that's so important.
I've worked with an awful lot of people on very many mediums, and of course I've interviewed hundreds of people, probably even thousands of people on the different modalities, and they all have the validity and they all have their own time. But it's like, as you said, putting good in after bad. It's when we're changing our cellular structure with a diet, it takes 3 months before that cellular structure will change. If we're not willing to invest in ourselves, if we're not willing to participate and try these new modalities, we're going to stay where we are, which is actually miserable. Constantly feeling something's holding us back or holding us down. And so we need to kind of explore and go, you know what, I don't really understand what she's doing, but I'm willing to give it a try. And then when you start feeling that difference, okay, we can go for deeper levels. We can go to that looking at our beliefs and are they outdated? If we have a program on our computer that's outdated, we update it.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise it slows your computer down. Hey, hello, we are that computer, and we need to always be working at optimum. And the more optimized we are, mind, body, heart, spiritual, and soul, the more productive we can be. That means the better service that we can give in whatever our arena is, and the higher the beautiful, loving vibration that's out there to serve everyone. But it starts off with take the garbage out.
Well, and if we don't, we're going to get sick.
Yes.
So that's when very serious diseases show up. People think, oh, well, I just got cancer. Well, no, you didn't just get cancer. No. There's a reason that cancer cell was out of whack, or those cells were out of whack and decided that they were going to turn into cancer cells. And that's what I want to stop.
Yes.
I want to stop people from getting those very serious illnesses that they don't need to have, and be in that kind of pain that they don't need to be in, because emotionally they can be healthy. They can be healthy, fine. Emotionally, we can release those emotions that they know that no longer serve them, so that their bodies can be healthy.
80% of cancer scientifically has been proven as an emotional disease. 20% may be environmental or something, but 80% at least. And people go, oh, okay, I don't know if you've know of the Emoto experiment, the water experiment.
Yes,
right.
I do. Mm-hmm.
I've had Yashiyuki on, who was his assistant because Emoto died, and he's carried on the work. But you just look at, for the people who don't know, the three waters in three different rooms: one water ignored, one water given negativity, one given positivity, and the different reactions of the water. The ignored one, nothing changed. The negative one changed to dark, and the positive one actually crystallized into measurable energy. We're 70% water, and we're saturated all the time by negative environment, the news, people's hate rhetoric, the discord, all of that. And the more we take that on, the more it contaminates our water, the more it breaks down our cells, the more it brings about those old patternings, and the more that we become the victimization of our inner and outer environment. So at some point we need to stand up and say no more. We need to stand up and say, I'm not going to allow the external in, and I'm going to clear the internal.
Yeah, and make some decisions around not watching the news.
Right, exactly.
And the things that might trigger you into feeling depressed or feeling upset, and all of those. I also like to refer to Dr. David R. Hawkins' map of consciousness. Mm-hmm. And for those people who might not know what that is, it's a study of different emotions based on a level of up to enlightenment. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that has also been discovered is that gratitude mm-hmm. is actually a higher vibration than love.
Oh, yes.
So mm-hmm. when we show gratitude, we are actually allowing our vibration, and the love vibration is quite high on this chart.
It is.
So gratitude is very, very important when we show gratitude, and not just for gratitude. We're not saying thank you for the things we got,
right.
but having gratitude before,
just
before anything has happened, or that what we're looking at our life as what we're grateful for and having in this life. So I also use his chart when I'm talking to clients about their level of consciousness mm-hmm. and how to raise their level of consciousness, and how important it is to do the work and to be healthy and to release those unprocessed negative emotions, so that you can be the best version of yourself.
The beautiful thing about science now, especially, I have another quantum spirituality, which you're on. Scientists have actually measured the love vibration. They've measured those people that choose to live in a spiritual realm. They've measured the energy, and they're going, okay, yeah, all right, now I'm understanding that there is science behind this. It's not all woo-woo. And of course, you look at every TV show and they want to turn everything into a cult, and that is out to brainwash people, which is so far from the truth, because spirituality cannot be contained, it cannot be boxed, it cannot be owned. It is a free energy spirit, and you are either a part of it and you can immerse yourself a part of it. But there is no I own it or I protect it. You just are. You are that beautiful divine energy. If we can step into appreciation of who we are, why we are, of each other, be grateful for each other's beautiful instrument, love what they do, then we are going to step up into this higher sphere of energy that we are all desperately needing to do, because that's the only way you're going to get rid of that heavy vibration that is weighing people down and that is harming the planet, because the planet is so out of balance right now with all the hate rhetoric. And it is, we've all got that capability. Every single one of us have got that capability. But as we point the finger and say, well, it's society's fault, there's three pointing at us saying, what are we doing about it? And the first thing you can do about it is release yourself, realign yourself, step into your own beautiful abundance. And so many people have discovered their own meaningful purpose and their own service from taking that journey. Yes. Now you are a gift to others. Right. And so that is where that beautiful gratitude for everything you've been through that's led you to where you are today, where you can step into that love and appreciation vibration in serving others.
So important. Yes, definitely.
It is so important. Now, I know that you have a little gift for our audience.
Yes, I do. So I do a complimentary information session about the body code because it's not well known. So I'd be happy to offer that. It's about a 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Sometimes we go longer. It doesn't matter. Just so that people can understand what it's about. You know, I've had a few wives send their husbands for body code work, and some of them work. But if the husband or whoever is just coming to please somebody else, not just for themselves, it doesn't work as well. So I like to offer this complimentary session so that people can find out more about it, see if it's really aligned with what they would like to do. So before there's any, you know, any
commitment,
anybody signs any, sends any money or does anything like that. So yes, that's what I'm offering, is a complimentary information session.
And of course, people just need to go to selfdiscoverymedia.com and put in your name, Permelia, which is P-E-R-M-E-L-I-A, and then Parham, F-A-R-H-A-M.
It's a P actually. Parham.
Oh, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Would help if I put the glasses on. Yes, P-A-R-H-A-M. Put in your name just in the search engine, then your show page comes up and the link to that free complimentary session is right there. But also, perfect. What is your site, love, and a few of your other social medias?
Yes. Okay. So my website is vibrationalhealing.ca. My Instagram is vibrational.healing. And I'm on LinkedIn under Permelia Parham Vibrational Healing. And my Facebook page is Vibrational Healing and Color Touch Therapy, which I know it's a long one, but vibrational healing by itself was already taken. So
okay, I mean, color touch therapy, please tell us what that is. I want to know what that is. We haven't talked about that. What is that?
Well, that was what I was trained under from my teacher, and her. So we did, when we were doing our chakra balancing, that was all color touch therapy, yes. Which I kind of found very interesting because many years later, it became very popular for adults to color, you know, yes. Adult coloring books.
Yes.
I'm like, really, you just need to get your chakras in balance.
Right.
So what we did was we did a vertical chakra balancing, horizontal chakra balancing, integrated chakra balancing, and we used crayons, colored pencils. We used the Bach flowers, just the book that I used, not the essences, but we just had a book that we used to adjust the colors that needed to be adjusted. So there was a lot of work that we did with coloring, and when we were getting our chakras all in balance. So
people don't realize that absolutely everything has a signature, and color is essential. You know, but the color. I'm very blue, as you may have noticed. You know, blues are very much my color, and the worst thing you can do is you're feeling down is go and put yourself in something dark and dowdy, because color is an uplifting. But each color has its own meaning, each color has its own signature, it has its own energy, and that we can do a great deal with different forms of color therapy in lining up our chakras and lifting up our spirits. And, we don't give enough credence to it, but it's really, really an important, wonderful medium.
Yes. And each color has its own vibration.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's what's really important as well, as we're looking at our chakra balancing and how we're getting our colors all in alignment. It's very, very important to make sure that your chakras are balanced, that whatever color you like, it doesn't matter what it is, but it's you resonate with blue. And that is what makes you feel good.
Yes.
So if you have a color that makes you feel good, usually I wear purple. Today I was polka dots, but
I love polka dots.
Purple is kind of my signature color. So I love wearing purple, and that makes me feel good. So
right.
Yeah.
And if we're drawn to a certain color and we look what the meaning of that color is, it actually it becomes part of your personality. It's a part of your integration with people. So if we're drawn to particular
it becomes part of your soul signature.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And more we understand that again is that we're made up of so many different compartments. I'm a true colors coach, colors again, the 4 different personality traits, but I mix that with astrology, numerology, Chineseology, the date you're born, and you'll see a correlation of a thread that goes all the way through, which is your strength or maybe even which is your weakness, and that means you're undeniably that person. And I think a lot of people have such conflict with being truly who they are because they're trying to always be what they're not. And so, kind of releasing past lives, releasing old programming, stepping into your own beautiful, colorful vibration is what you owe yourself. Because then truly you can really step out into what you're here to do and be productive, because you are being true to who you are and in that beautiful vibration.
Yeah, and exploring those types of ways, like true colors. I love true colors too. And just exploring what that might mean for you, and usually you resonate with it.
Yes,
you'll resonate with what's coming up for you. But that also helps you identify who you are
and how you interact and how you're perceived by other people. Yeah.
So for me, all of that learning I did quite a few years ago, but that really helps sort of signify and also embrace my personality and how I saw myself in the world, and just gave me more of a grounding, like a way to okay, this is my base. This is my base, and so I'm good here on this base. And then I can also, I've always been curious. When I was growing up, I was always told I asked way too many questions.
Yeah. You never ask too many questions, folks.
Done me in good stead now.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's Curious George, right? You always got into trouble. But, I think one of the things that we lose as we grow up is that wonderment of life, that exploration, that adventure. And if we could look at each day as an adventure, what can I explore today? What possibilities are there for me today? We'll always be living in an openness and willingness to explore and learn something new. And, we don't rest on your laurels. Don't go become complacent, because when you become stagnant, like mosquitoes come then,
Well, I don't know if it's a Libra trait, but I always get bored. So when I get bored, then I want to know something else.
Well, it's the balancing it out. Well, I know this knowledge,
something.
But you need to balance it out with that knowledge. And all knowledge has its reason. Everything has its reason for being there. And it's just a question of how do we use it and in which order do we use it that is really going to benefit. And so it's always that inquisitiveness that's there. We are beautifully simple, but utterly divinely complicated creatures. And the more we actually understand who we are from the earth perspective, from that, how do we tick? How do we interact? How do we perceive? What is our tendency of communication and interaction, and also our soul and spirit signature? And we actually marry those two together. What music we make.
That's the symphony.
That's the symphony. It absolutely is. Yes. I was just before we came on, there was something that was posted, or somebody liked a piece of music that was on SoundCloud that I'd done with somebody, a young man who plays guitars. People making guitars out of everything, oil cans, a spade, or this, that, and he just makes this incredible Americana blues from it. And I was just listening to, I had to listen to it 3 times. It was just literally music to my soul, you know, and that is another signature. That is another beautiful medium that is just so enlightening. And the more we're willing to open up and immerse ourselves into all of this, the more we are actually feeding ourselves, which is, you know, again, forget about the one size fits all, folks. You've just got to dance amongst them all and see what
Figure
all
out
of them
what works
ignite.
for you.
Yeah, but start off with taking out the garbage, taking out any of those past things. They're holding you back. They're going to stop you from embracing anything new because they'll contaminate it. It needs to go. And then you need to look at your programming. Is it past programming? Is it current? Is it serving you? Is it productive? And realign that. And now you can really get out and explore what other wonders are out there for you and learn some skills on how to constantly keep yourself in balance and keep that maintenance there. And it sounds like hard work, folks, but the more you immerse yourself into it, the more it becomes your life pattern. And the more it serves you being productive in your life, the less work it is. It takes more work to be struggling than it does to be thriving.
And also, when you let something go that no longer serves you, that opens the door for something new and more miraculous to show up. So
yeah, absolutely, something
it always
exciting.
works that way.
Yeah. And of course, your site is vibrationalhealing.ca, folks, not .com, .ca, Canada. Vibrationalhealing.ca, and people can go there and find all that information. And there's so much to learn. There's so much to immerse ourselves into, but that willingness to participate in your own life by investing in yourself. We invest in our car when it breaks down. We invest in our house or insurance or this or that. How about yourself? How about this vessel that you're in? Invest in this, and then you will actually understand the beautiful vehicle that you're driving.
Perfect. Love it.
Thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you. This was delightful. And let's be in touch.
Oh, we will be in touch for sure. And folks, please reach out. She's got so much going on. She's gathered 65 wonderful people under that umbrella. There's more to come. So, it can be one-stop shopping. Everybody that you need could be right there. But again, you've got to be willing to take the first step. All the solutions are right there at your fingertips, clicking. Just reach out to her through vibrationalhealing.ca, or please, through the wonderful gift that she's given us. So just put in her name and on selfdiscoverymedia.com search engine and look at what she's got for us. And just remember, you want to drive your own vehicle. So therefore take charge, which means do some maintenance. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. Please tune in to our selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows and you will see all the other genres that we have from you. Every week on Tuesday, we bring you new shows from illuminating people. If you know someone that should be interviewed, please contact us at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com. Now stay tuned for your next show.